For more on all this, Bret Baier anchors special report. I read earlier today this Atlantic essay by Graham Wood, who basically said that primaries build grit. Crowning Harris might come back to bite the Dems. And he's not just talking about the fact that there's not a democratic process for the delegates there. He said this: if a campaign launches a candidate's chance to show off his pearly smile, the primary is the candidate's chance to show off that smile after he's been slugged in the face a few times. And as in boxing, it's better to take one's practice hits from a sparring partner rather than from the defending champ who awaits you on fight night. What do you think of that?
Yeah, Dan and Bill, good morning. I think that's right on. I mean, it builds a tough skin if you have to make your case in front of the American people and in front of Democratic voters in particular. This will be the first time that a nominee has never had one single vote for them. Now, there are allies who argue that she was part of the Biden ticket, but they were voting for President Biden. They weren't voting for Vice President Harris. And, you know, she did perform in 2019 on a debate stage, but had some sparring there that didn't work out to her favor. Remember a big sparring element in a debate with Tulsi Gabbard about her time as prosecutor in California, and she never made it to the Iowa caucuses. The money dried up and the support dried up. So as a candidate, she may be a little untested, and that is what you hear in that article, and I've heard in other Democratic circles.
Yeah, she's saying she's a prosecutor, right? Tough on crime. That hasn't gone over so well. Let me come back to that. New York Post, here's what they say. Part of the elaborate strategy to remove Biden from the race was allowing him to debate Republican candidate Donald Trump last month on live TV in Atlanta. That debate was a setup to convince Democrats that he couldn't run for president. Maybe you've heard the same thing. I have, from some Democrats who won't go public on that. But with Joe Biden making the decision that he did, now the focus is on Harris. And when coming out of San Francisco, her record on crime was not viewed favorably by a lot of Democrats. They thought she was too tough, and we heard that in a soundbite a few moments ago. But lately, the progressive movement within the Democratic Party as DAs, they don't want to lock people up. How many people have we seen arrested and they're back on the streets in 24 hours? I don't know how they're able to square that. It seems like an opportunity for the Trump team.
Oh, 100%. And, you know, there's problems with it on the left. There's problems with it on the right about her time in San Francisco and using San Francisco as a template of where it is now as far as crime and a place to be, and California in general. Listen, there's a lot of avenues here, but it is more about substance and policy than it is about the one age issue and the back and forth about President Biden. It's a totally different race. Democrats clearly are going to rise to the occasion because it's new, it's exciting, but whether she can perform and how she's defined in the next couple of weeks by either side is really going to determine how this race starts out.
What did you think about that yesterday then? Because when she had an opportunity to first be on camera, it was during the 5 yesterday. We broke into it. It's after Biden called in by speakerphone to introduce her. She spent the first 10 minutes like thanking elected officials who were in the room rather than taking that opportunity to say, here I am, this is what I'm going to do, these are my 3 main issues, 1, 2, 3, boom. And like, you don't get a second chance to make a first impression.
Oh, that's right. And it was interesting. That was her first speech, you know, in front of those campaign that now are her campaign workers. And we took that into special report as well to listen to what the pitch was. I think you heard the prosecutor versus the felon kind of construction that you're going to hear going forward. But as far as what she's going to run on, it sounds like basically what they see as the accomplishments of the Biden administration. But there are big vulnerabilities, inflation, the border, crime. Yeah. There is, you know, there are specifics that already were being litigated. I think it's going to be fascinating to see how President Biden factors into all of this. The fact that we haven't seen him, physically seen him as of yet, I think is a real issue.
Yeah, strange. There used to be a show on Saturday mornings called Land of the Lost.
Oh, I love that show.
You saw that?
Oh my God, I love that show.
And with the sleigh stacks?
Yeah. It was like the humans got floated down a river and they ended up with a bunch of dinosaurs. It was just the Land of the Lost.
And those like crazy monster robot things?
Every day, or every show anyway.
Yeah,
we should
the sleigh stacks.
So we are in the Land of the Lost, Brett. Thanks. We'll catch you later, okay?
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.